On September 11th, 2024, in Harris County, Texas, an officer met with the complainant who advised that in the morning he received multiple phone calls from an unknown number beginning at 4:30 a.m., lasting through 4:50 a.m., in which the defendant called a total of 5 times. The complainant stated he did not answer the phone from previous knowledge that it was the defendant calling him to confront him. The complainant stated he left to work, and when he returned at approximately 4 p.m., he noticed multiple phone calls from an app-generated phone number that called him a total of 18 times. The complainant stated that on the 18th call, he answered the phone and let the defendant talk. The complainant was able to get a second cell phone and record the defendant stating, "I know where you stay at. You don't know where I am." The complainant stated he had sent a text message to the phone number that the defendant kept calling from, and said that he did not wish to have any contact with him and to leave the complainant alone and stop calling. The complainant stated that during the conversation over the phone with the defendant, before he was able to record the phone call, the defendant stated he was going to shoot the complainant in the legs so he could not work as an electrician. The complainant stated that the defendant is the complainant's current girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. The defendant is the complainant's current girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. The complainant told the officer that he believes the defendant is capable of carrying out his threat, and the complainant is in fear for his life.
Got it. All right, Mr. Barrera, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have contact with this person. Do you understand? I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons. If I find that you violate any of these conditions, if you are a danger to my community, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
And Judge, given my conversation with the complainant that I had yesterday, the state would request a GPS monitor because he has continually gone to the residence since this incident and has made threatening comments towards the mother-in-law as well. And recently, as of a couple of days ago, I guess he left his wheelchair outside the home in order to make some sort of threat that he's been going near the residence.
So the threats are still continuing?
Yes.
Sir, I'm now putting a monitor on your ankle so I know that you're not going over there. You're not to go within 1,000 feet of where they live or where they work. Do you understand? Hold on. I don't want you to say anything. I will give you a lawyer today. You can talk to the lawyer, but understand my only concern is community safety. That's all I care about in this life. You know, we take things step by step. Let me do this. I'm going to give you a lawyer. I'll let you talk to the lawyer. I got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they're going to use it against you. Let me give you a lawyer. We'll go from there. But don't go where they live. Don't go where they work. Don't accidentally bump into them. Do you understand? So for now, I am going to put a GPS monitor, and so we know where you are. You're not to go anywhere where they live or work. I'm going to have you now sign a receipt of Victoria. After that, we'll just have you wait for the lawyer that we get, and we'll go from there. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Otherwise, I'm going to revoke your bond. Okay? Felicia, it'll be with you because you're monitoring. And wait the fee. Is this the interpreter?
Yes, this is me, Kahura Amadi. I'm the
Okay.
interpreter.
Okay.
Page 2.
Azadi, come up.
Judge, can you sign, conditions on the future? Chance for Mr. Hassan? There should be 3 bond conditions for each case.
Sorry to keep you waiting, ma'am. From now on, what I would do is next to your name, put interpreter so we know who you are. That way it'll make it a lot easier for us when you're trying to zoom on that we know who it is and the purpose.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes, because I was logged in, from 9:30 because they told me that you have to log in as soon as possible. But 9:30 to 11:30, nobody
That's okay.
joined.
Well, so from now on, make sure you put interpreter because I get a lot of people that try to log on and they
Okay.
do very dubious things.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yes.
All right. You are Azadi.
Yes.
Do you speak English?
Right.
What language do you speak?
Dari.
You speak Dari, ma'am, correct?
I speak Dari and Farsi. Yes.
Okay. I have a translator here for you so that you can understand what happens.
Should I start to translate?
Shh. Will you be able to faithfully translate everything I say to this gentleman?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You were charged with assault, bodily injury.
شما در واقع به حمله مسلحانه به کسی حمله کردی، اونجوری متهم شدی که به کسی حمله کردی.
Do you understand how she's... Okay. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine.
میگه 1 سال بعد زندان بری و $4,000 بعد جریمه پرداخت کنی.
We are going to do probable cause.
در واقع اینجا میخوان برای شما یه excuse me sir, I don't know exactly what does probable cause mean. Sorry about that.
We're going to determine whether there's enough evidence to go forward or not.
میگه در واقع میخوان شواهد رو بررسی بکنن که ببینن بعد چجوری در مورد مسئله شما تصمیم گیری بکنن.
You have the right to go slow.
Yes, Judge. On January 15th, 2025,
میگه در 15 ژانویه 2025
the officer is dispatched to a possible assault.
فهمیدن که شما به کسی حمله کردید.
The officer observed one student being assaulted by 2 other students.
میگه اون در واقع اون آفیسر اون مأمور دید که یکی از دانش آموزان به وسیله 2 دانش آموز دیگه مورد حمله و ضرب و شتم قرار داده شد.
The officer stepped in and grabbed the defendant and escorted him to the police office.
آفیسر اون مأمور پلیس در واقع وارد مداخله شد و اون کسی که صدمه دیده بود رو برد به پلیس، به دفتر پلیس.
Surveillance video showed the complainant speaking with the defendant in the cafeteria with other students.
میگه که اون ویدیویی رو که در واقع داشتن بازرسی می‌کردن که ببینن چه اتفاقی افتاد، توی این ویدیو دیدن که اون دانش آموز تو کافتریا داشت با اون 2 دانش آموز دیگه صحبت می‌کرد.
Students separated the defendant and the complainant after the defendant charged at the complainant.
میگه بقیه دانش آموزا اون کسی که مورد ضرب و جرح قرار داده شده بود و اون کسی که داشت ضرب و جرح می‌کرد رو در واقع جدا کردن از هم دیگه.
The defendant was being held back when a 15-year-old started punching the complainant.
میگه که اون دیفندنت اون کسی که مورد حمله قرار داده شده بود خودش رو کشید عقب وقتی که دید اون یکی دانش آموز در واقع با لگد بهش زد. Yes.
Ma'am, please don't talk. If you want to talk, you can go out.
Yes, Judge.
Did you just say the defendant was being held back?
Yes, and as I keep going, he breaks loose. So the defendant broke loose from the other students and joined the 15-year-old in the fight.
میگه اون کسی که مورد حمله و ضرب و شتم قرار داده شد خودش رو به عقب پرتاب کرد. Sorry, can you please repeat the second part of the sentence?
Yes, so the defendant joined the 15-year-old in the fight.
میگه اون کسی که مورد ضرب و شتم قرار داده شد در واقع به اون یکی دانش آموزی که 15 سال بود به اون ملحق شد.
The defendant punched the complainant multiple times.
میگه اون کسی که در واقع مورد ضرب و جرح قرار داده شد چند بار ضربه زد به اون یکی دانش آموز.
The complainant stated he felt pain after getting thrown on the ground.
Sorry, can you please repeat it one more time?
Yes, no problem. The complainant stated he felt pain from getting thrown on the ground.
اون کسی که در واقع مورد حمله قرار داده شد که در واقع شاکی بود میگه بدنش درد گرفت بعد از اینکه مورد اون ضرب و جرح و حمله قرار داده شد.
Who is the complaining witness? And where was this?
So the complaining witness is another student and it took place at a school.
بازی میپرسه که اون شاهدی که در واقع داشته میدیده جریانات اون کی بوده و ایشون اون پروسیکیوتور دارن میگن که ایشون یه دانش آموز دیگه بود اونجا که در واقع صحنه رو دید که چه خبر شده.
Which school?
So I'm trying to find, Your Honor.
Wisdom High School, Judge.
Hey. Have you reached out to the complaining witness?
Yes, Judge, I've attempted to reach out to the complaining witness. I have not heard back from him.
Okay, so I'm going to find probable cause exists to go forward with your case.
قاضی میگن که من در واقع میخوام حالا اون شواهد رو پیدا بکنم که ببینم که چجوری که این مسئله کیس شما رو جلو ببرم.
And you were charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge. On January 16th, 2025 at 2:02 a.m., the officer was dispatched in an attempt to locate. The officer was advised the defendant's sister was concerned for her well-being after not hearing from her. The defendant's sister stated her last known location was the Den, a bar, where she got a flat tire. While searching the area, the officer located the defendant's vehicle at the entrance of the University of Houston, and a witness was flagged down to assist changing the defendant's flat tire. The witness stated he observed the defendant as the sole occupant of the driver's seat of the vehicle, and the surveillance video showed the defendant's vehicle in motion at the time the witness came into contact with the defendant. The defendant was identified with Texas driver's license, and the officer made contact and observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, red, glossy, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant admitted drinking a wine cooler earlier in the day, and standard field sobriety tests were conducted. The officer observed the defendant to be unsteady on her feet as she walked to the sidewalk, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 5 out of 8, one leg stand 1 out of 4. The DIC was red and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.185 and 0.181.
And you're telling me there's video of her driving?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Levy, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Have you run your license and any prior DWIs?
Driver's license is eligible and no priors, Your Honor.
Okay. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. You will be randomly tested. Good morning, Mr. Newman. Sir, you're charged with evading arrest or detention. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 15th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to Texas Southern regarding a male on campus possibly carrying a firearm. The caller provided the name and dispatch ran through arms and located a recent picture and a trespass notice. The officer observed the defendant walk into the library, immediately walked out accompanied by a second black male, and the officer attempted to detain the defendant, and the defendant ran northbound, ran through an apartment complex. The officer drove through the complex and set up a perimeter and observed the defendant run out of the complex. The officer exited a marked patrol vehicle in full uniform, drew a duty weapon, and ordered the defendant to the ground. The defendant ignored the commands and continued running and was assisted to the ground by the officer. The defendant stated he ran due to being scared. The defendant evaded approximately 0.4 miles.
What was he doing wrong?
So there was a report of a possible firearm on campus, and the caller provided the name, and he was attempting to investigate that, and he was just trying to detain him to
They
investigate.
gave the description of him.
They just gave the name, and then they
A name
ran
of-
that through arms, and they found a picture of that person.
So the caller gave the name of Mr. Newman.
Yes, Judge. Gave Mr. Newman's name. The officer ran that name and found a picture, and then observed him leaving the library and attempted to detain him.
Yes.
And then he ran.
There was also a current trespass notice for the defendant as well.
Yes, Judge.
From TSU.
From the arms or TSU.
Yes, Judge. They found for TSU through arms.
Mr. Newman, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Let's do this. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer today because there's several things that we need to look at. So do you mind reaching out to the MAC for Mr. Newman? Mr. Newman, assuming we go forward with the case, you're not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you understand? I'm
Yes,
making
sir.
that a condition of your bond.
Yes, sir.
If I find that you have any weapons, I'm going to revoke your bond. I'm going to put you in jail.
Yes, sir.
Just all I want is my community to be safe. I'm not asking for much. You understand? Okay. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria, then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. They're going to dismiss the trespass and we go forward on the DWI second.
Yes, Judge.
You were charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You know, you just heard what I said to this other gentleman here. Life doesn't get easier. It gets a lot more difficult the older you get. And when you start racking up convictions, all you're doing is you're making the life even just more difficult. If you have a drug and alcohol problem, there are ways to address it. But when you endanger other people's lives, you may end up digging a hole that's so deep you'll never crawl your ass out of it. And you'll be stuck like Chuck in custody for the next 40 years. It happens time and again. If you don't believe me, watch the news. Every single day, someone dies from a DWI in our county. Yesterday, a construction worker. Take an Uber. It's extremely easy. They make it so easy that all you literally have to do is push one button. Because I'm going to tell you now, with your history, if you ever get pulled over and an officer smells anything funky, you're going to go down. And this time, it's out of my hands. From now on, you're in felony court. You're 2 to 10 at the penitentiary. Even the faintest smell of alcohol. Do you understand, Mr. Jaggers?
Yes, sir.
Somehow we have to get through to you. Hopefully it doesn't take the fact that you sit there charged with a 5 to life case because you've done something that just can't get out. Get a clue. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, these will go on your record. 1 and 1 are 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. A third, you're looking at 2 to 10 at the penitentiary. Do you understand?
Sir.
The rest of your life. What are you, 32 right now?
31.
31. You're going to be driving for the next 40 years. How do you plead to the offense of second offense driving while intoxicated? I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 330 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 113 days that you've done. I am going to suspend your license for 1 year. Do not drive until you get a license. What do you do for a living, Mr. Jaggers? How much money do you make a month?
0 right now.
I'm appointed to this case, Judge.
So you're working for free? What?
Yes.
I don't know. Well, why would we reward him? He was to obtain a device he just never did.
He doesn't have a vehicle, Your Honor. I was notified by pretrial yesterday that there was this BVR. Talked to Mr. Jaggers about it. He didn't have a vehicle, and by his account, I didn't have a vehicle. He didn't know what to do. But he's here today.
So you just do whatever you want? I mean, this is continue to happen over and over and over. I mean,
He spent, better part of 4 months, 3 months in jail, awaiting resolution of this case. He has done that time, Your Honor. He's working now. I really believe that to help him get better, he needs to put this behind him and get started with a new phase of his life.
Mr. Jaggers, I'm going to waive the court costs and I'll waive the DPS fine and surcharge. Just take a damn Uber, man. It's not hard. One button on your phone. All this could be avoided by hitting one button on your phone. All right. Good luck, Foster.
Mr. Coleman, Jeroy Coleman.
Got it. I didn't realize this too. All right. Good morning, Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman, you're charged with failure to identify oneself to a peace officer while being a fugitive from justice. That kicks it up to a Class A misdemeanor, so you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 15 days in jail with credit for the 5 days that you've done. It also looks like you have a second case that they're going to dismiss once you plead guilty to this offense. Is that how you understand the agreement? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, can never change this. This will go on your record. You also need to understand that from now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You know, your case is 1,864 days old. I will tell you that when you show up to court, good things happen. We don't ask for much, but when you continue to just take off, it makes things a whole hell of a lot worse. You got a great lawyer. All you got to do is listen. Things will all, things go right. How do you plead to the offense of failure to identify oneself?
Yes.
I'm going to find you guilty and will sentence you to the 15 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 5 days that you've done. I'm going to roll your court costs so you don't owe anything, and your other case will be dismissed on motion of the state. Good luck to you, sir.
The full one, and if you watched from beginning to end, a few moments stood out clearly. A woman was found at the University of Houston entrance in the middle of the night by her own sister, who had called police out of worry. She was asleep behind the wheel, blowing a 0.185 with a flat tire. The judge found probable cause and gave her a lawyer. A Walmart employee processed fake returns 4 separate times over the course of 8 days, taking cash from the register, processing fraudulent refunds, and walking out with gift cards. She admitted to stealing 4 times, each time around $200. The judge ordered her not to return to any Walmart and appointed her a lawyer. A woman got into an argument at another woman's apartment, pushed her, got hit back with a set of keys that left scratches across her face, and then spit in the complainant's face before being let up off the floor. The complainant was her own mother. The judge set bond conditions and sent her on her way. A 17-year-old was found on surveillance video throwing an AR pistol with no serial number in front of a residence, caught after running from officers responding to a shots-fired call. He was charged with evading arrest downstairs and tampering with a firearm identification number upstairs. His lawyer was there with him. The judge told him, "You only have 2 ways to go in life, up or down. Stay in school. Don't hang with dogs or you will get fleas." A man charged with engaging in organized criminal activity, Ammermatz found sitting in a stolen U-Haul, walked out of the courthouse after the judge read the affidavit, read the statute, and said, "I find no probable cause. Mere presence is not enough." His co-defendants had run and fought. He had sat still. The law saw a difference. The judge told him, "Be careful who you hang out with." And a woman 6 months pregnant with felony cases resolved upstairs on a PTI deal sat in the holding area while her misdemeanor lawyer argued for a PR bond so she could actually get out and start the program that was supposed to help her. The state did not oppose. The judge granted it. He told her, "I am not going to do this over and over. This is your one chance. Make it count." This courthouse moves case by case, name by name, decision by decision, and most of those decisions carry consequences that last years. Today was no different. We will see you in the next one.